Well, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with the instant match reaction. Newcastle United versus Aston Villa. Newcastle United have won 3-0 at St James's Park on Boxing Day. Aston Villa's woes up in the northeast continue. A brilliant performance from the lads. Some brilliant goals, some crazy moments, red cards, you name it. We're going to get stuck right into this in a minute, talk about the game, look at the lineups, talk about where it was won for Newcastle United, and just give you some of my thoughts on it as well. If that's the kind of thing you guys like, smash subscribe. I'd love you to come and join us. We're over 9,100 subs now, so we're heading towards the next milestone of 10K. And if you're checking us out for the first time, hello, this will be a good one. Smash that button, hang around a little bit longer, and recommend us to family and friends. And we are live, as always, on the post matches. Jump in with your comments. There's a few you smashed it in already. Mark is not with me today in the background, so I will do my very best to get as many comments up as humanly possible. We don't ignore the comments on this channel because what makes the live shows what they are. So let's get stuck right into it. So this is how we lined up today. Obviously, the big news before the game was Tino Livramento missing from the lineup, missing from the squad altogether, really. So I think that might be an injury, I think is what I read, which is a shame. I hope that Tino was out for a long period of time because he's been playing really, really well in the right-back position. Certainly the last few games we've really picked up form. But Kieran Trippier came back in the lineup and Big Joelinton came back in for Joe Willock after his suspension against Ipswich, where we battered them last week. In terms of Aston Villa, the big call for Unai Emery was who was he going to start up front, Ollie Watkins or John Duran? He started John Duran. More on him in a second. I do like John Duran. He does remind me a lot, actually, of Alexander Mitrovic, and probably for more reasons than one, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. So I said in the preview that Newcastle will win this game in the midfield. They have to get control in the midfield. You know, Aston Villa have got Onana, Camara, and Tielemans, who's really rediscovered his Leicester form. So they play really, really well. And we had to take charge of that midfield. And my God, did we take charge of that midfield. Within 90 seconds of the game, we took charge of that midfield. Sandro Tonali wins the ball back. Brilliant bit of play. Gives it to Bruno Guimaraes. Goes on a little mazy run. Passes it to Joelinton. Slips in Anthony Gordon, who tucks inside and melts an unbelievable strike past arguably the best goalkeeper in the world in many people's opinions. Great goalkeeper, but a monumental bell end. So I was really glad to see this one go in the back of the net. And just Gordon hit it was just the right kind of power, the right kind of pace. It got up and down quick enough. It got up quick enough to get over Martinez's hand and down quick enough to find the top bins. And an absolutely brilliant strike. Credit as well to Lewis Hall for making the overlap and run and dragging the full back out the way to create the space for Anthony Gordon. It's 90 seconds in at a packed St James's Park, where Aston Villa have got a shocking record, you know, and then Villa fans up at level 7, I felt a little bit sorry for them, to be honest with you, because when you're coming to Newcastle and you know it's going to be a tough game already, and that happens in 90 seconds, you're thinking, shit, is this really going to be our day? And it wasn't going to be their day at all. But after that goal, we kind of dropped off a little bit, in all fairness. The game opened up a little bit more. Villa started getting the ball a little bit. They started to find the passing rhythm, started to make things happen. We were doing the same at the other end. I think Kieran Trippier looked really good today, you know, even though he's been out for so long. Good on the ball, calm. You know, we were a little bit sloppy, I think, with some of our passing in the first half and just presented the ball back to Villa, who couldn't quite find that kind of penetrating pass. And there was a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of cat and mouse, I think, between the two sides as the game went on. And then on the half-an-hour mark, Chippers has literally just jumped in, I think, with the comment that I was going to say there, that half-an-hour mark in, John Duran, who I thought was getting really well marked by Shea and Byrne. And in all fairness as well, just before that, I think he won a free kick and he wanted to take it, and they didn't let him take it. Look, Dean took it. It was a good save by the Bravik. I think this was just before the red card, but we had a free kick at the other end, and Shea blasted. It was a good save from Martinez. He makes the save. Villa hit us on the break, and then John Duran gets through, running through on goal. Brilliant recovery tackle by Shea, to be fair, who looked a lot more like the Fabian Shea we know and love today. He gets back in, he makes that challenge. And in real time, I said, he's fucking left one in on him there. That's a red card. I said, that's a red card. I was watching it screaming. I said, that is a red card. goes to VAR. This is the good side of VAR. We'll tell you about the bad side of VAR in a minute. Goes to VAR, and you can see that John Duran doesn't just stud Fabian Schär once in the arse. He studs him in the back, scrapes the stud up the back of Fabian Schär, and it's a definite red card. 100% it's a red card. And it's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. And it goes back to this whole thing with John Duran. A very good player, right? There's no doubt about that at all. A really, really good player, but absolutely nuts as well. Has that weird side of him that just, he's unpredictable in the worst way, unpredictable in the good way, and unpredictable in the worst way as well, in terms of doing crazy shit like that. Mitrovic was exactly the same with us. If you remember, once upon a time, he would score a mint goal and then he would just go absolutely mad and then just like boot someone as well. Do you know what I mean? Which is just unbelievable. And then he gets the red card, he goes off, and it's all kicking off. It's a straight red card. There is no doubt about it whatsoever. Absolutely no doubt about it whatsoever. It's a red card. He goes off. Then you're starting to worry a little bit with these weird games. I remember when Liverpool went to 10 men and ended up losing that game, which we don't know how the hell we lost that game. But then go to half-time. We have a couple more chances before that. We'll turn the pressure on a little bit. Villa are kind of digging in a bit. We'll go to half-time. We're thinking, right, what is Eddie going to say, in terms of in terms of the halftime talk? What is he going to say to the lads? And then we'll come out. And again, I think just control the game, really. We just control the game. And I think it's on about the 59th minute mark. We've had a couple of chances before there. We've huffed and we've puffed. We haven't quite done it. Some good saves, some good blocks by Villa digging in. But I think he brought on Ollie Watkins to try and change the game. Villa were quite naughty and nasty. They were trying to leave one on Gordon, leave one on Bruno, trying to wind Joelinton up as well, who I thought was superb today. I'll get into my man of the match in a minute. And then we get the ball. Sandro Tonali's involved again. Nice little give and go. Bruno slips the ball into Murphy, who I think had just missed or hit the bar seconds before or seconds after. He puts the ball across the box. It's an easy tap in for Alexander Isak. That's Alexander Isak's, I think, is a 10th goal in 10 games or something like that. He's up to 11 now for the season. So he's bang in form, bang on fire. And then 2-0. Villa make some more changes. They make a triple change. They've got Barkley on. They've got Leon Bailey on. They're trying to do something to change the game. And they're never really in the game for me, Villa. Never really in the game at all. I don't remember outside of Luka Dean's free kick, Dubravka having much to do. And I just felt we bossed the game completely, which is so impressive given the nature of the opposition. We all said that Leicester and Ipswich are one thing, no disrespect to them. But the next three games we had coming up, Aston Villa, Manchester United, and then Spurs, they would be the big measures as to say where we're going to go, where we're going to possibly end up at the end of the season. And we've taken care of an Aston Villa team who have had a good season, both in the Premier League and the Champions League, some unbelievable results against great opposition. And we've just completely wiped our arse on them today. We get a third goal, which I don't understand why this is ruled off as well. It's a great bit of play. I think it is from Isak, comes across. The Villa player snatches it, tries to clear it, hits Bruno Guimaraes on the shoulder and goes in the back of the net. And then the ref rules it off for VAR handball. But it hits Bruno, then it hits Luka Dean, and goes in the back of the net. And I don't understand why they've ruled that out. I know they said if you scored directly from a handball or the ball hitting your arm and going in, it should be ruled out. But what the fuck is Bruno supposed to do? Turn into liquid and let the ball pass through him and get wet? He can't get out the fucking way. He's got to just turn his shoulder to it. It's bound to hit him and go in. So I don't understand how that goal was ruled out to him. It made no sense whatsoever. And you felt like we were getting a little gypped from the referee. But as the game goes on, the third goal comes, and Jesus, what a strike again. Joelinton, who for me, guys, was my man of the match tonight. I'll look at his individual stats in a minute, but Joelinton was absolutely brilliant tonight. Back to his kind of beast best, up and down the park, And I think as well, the John Duran thing, I thought he was going to punch John Duran in the throat. That hold him back, to be fair, but Fordham had to hold him back. I'm glad he didn't. But Joelinton was brilliant today. Again, he tucks inside. It's a stinker of a pass from Onana. And the Aston Villa fans must have been having kittens all the way up there at level 7 or watching wherever they were in the world, because you cannot pay out from the back when you're getting pressed so high like Villa were today. It was absolute suicide by Aston Villa. They dug their own grave today, and Newcastle took full advantage of it. And Joelinton presses up high. Onana hits a lazy, tired leg ball straight to Joelinton. He's got the ball. He dips his shoulder, very similar to Gordon's, and he melts it in the top corner past allegedly the world's best goalkeeper. And we're 3-0 up, and we're good for it. Probably should have been about 4 or 5, to be fair. And I didn't feel for any moment today that Newcastle United were in any real trouble from Aston Villa. I really, really don't think that. I just think that, again, the opposition was so much better than previous opposition that were battered. So for me, this is a brilliant result for Newcastle United. We're up to 5th in the league now. We've got 2 big games coming against Manchester United, Old Trafford, where we don't have a great record, and then Spurs at the Spurs Stadium to finish the year out. Well, so it's Man U to finish the year out, then Spurs to start the year. But this could be a really, really interesting time for Newcastle United. I'm absolutely buzzing that they're playing so well. And rightly so, as Marcus says. Get your comments in, guys. Loving the clean sheets. Absolutely. I mean, Dubravka's been relatively untested. What he's had to do, he's done really, really well, missing Nick Pope. But that's brilliant. That's a testament to the defence. I think, Shea looked back to his best today. Trips came in, did really well. Byrne continues to do well. Lewis Hall, again, just fucking brilliant defensively and offensively. The kid is absolutely brilliant. He really, really is. We didn't miss Tino today. And that tells you how good the defence is playing. Dan Robinson's gifted, good times to celebrate 8 months. What a win. I was reading the wrong bit there, mate. Gifted. I said, you've been a member for 8 months. Thank you for your support, Dan. And what a win. Absolutely, mate. Steve says we're on fire. Absolutely. Hyperbole says we are back, baby. It's hard to disagree with that, mate, to be honest with you, because the way we're playing. Merry Christmas to you too, Garth. Hope you enjoyed that, Bonnie lad. Yes, up to 5th, Arthur. Brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Peter says they were never a threat. I thought we were in 2nd gear throughout. You look like we had gears to go up, Peter, I must admit. We played so well. We used the ball so well. Some of Tonali's defensive split passes tonight, guys, was absolutely incredible. It really, really was. Just brilliant. He's just so calm and cool on the ball and never gets rattled. They put a few nasty tackles in him. He never lost his rag. He never went for retaliation. He was just calm and cool. And he gets the ball. It's almost like time stands still when Tonali gets the ball. But in his mind, he's 5 steps ahead of everybody else. And it just makes us play so much better. It really, really does. Got super chatting from Graham. Thank you very much for that, Graham. Really appreciate it, bud. Season's greeting everybody. Great result. I thought Trips was very good in fairness. Dubravka was solid. And that was Shea's best game in a long time. Bring on Manure. Can't disagree with any of that, Graham, at all. I thought Trips looked really good. I think he tied towards the end. I think that's where the injury come from as well. But he did look good. He had all the characteristics of a Kieran Trippier-esque performance. Good on the ball, calm and influence, talking everybody around him. Good defensive work as well. I think he did start to tire a bit as the game went on, but that's what happens when you're his age. But yeah, I thought he stood in really well for Tino. Absolutely great performance from Trippier. Hope his injury isn't too bad. Super chat from Sandy. Thank you very much, mate. Hello, Chris lad. Hello to you, mate. I did have a good Christmas. Thank you very much. Like the rest of you probably gained about 3 stone and absolutely knackered off the back of it. But I really am enjoying it, especially that performance today. Very good result. Christ almighty, some of our finishing is awful. If we could take more of our chances, we'd probably win 6 or 7-0, mate, to be brutally honest with you. But I'm not going to scoff at 3-0 against Aston Villa. Should have been 4 or 5. Bryce said, absolutely class today. Tonali, man, literally near motion. Even when he loses the ball, he hunts it back down. That's the best thing about him, mate. He's just relentless, but in a cool, calm, composed way. Never looks like he's rattled at all. And I just love that about the guy. He just looks so much better and better week in, week out. Again, another little cameo for Louis Miley as well. Let's just have a little look at what Louis Miley did. In terms of his little performance again, 100% passing accuracy, 11 out of 11. I mean, the kid's just fucking classy. He just won one of his ground jewels. Him coming on for Bruno again is just another little added bonus, I think. And the more he plays, and the more fitter he gets, the more we're going to see another brilliant player there as well, I think, to be honest with you. But my man of the match, guys, was Joelinton. I thought Joelinton was absolutely phenomenal. I was kind of toying with the idea. It was either him or Fabian Schär, to be honest with you. But, we won 3-0. I don't think we were massively tested defensively, but Schär did really well. I thought Joelinton was absolutely sensational today. So he got a 94% passing accuracy. He got 30 of his 32 passes out there. In terms of his touches, or his assists as well. So he gets his goal. He's got 1 assist as well. He's won 3 of his 4 aerial duels. He's got an interception, 3 clearances as well. And he was just a monster again with Joelinton. And when he plays like that, he's just back to front, box to box, and there's no player like him. There really, really isn't. And he was out on the left. He was in midfield. He was dropping in at full back. He was just fucking brilliant. Park has become a member. Thank you very much, Park. You really appreciate that, mate. Welcome on board to the Evermore membership, mate. Really appreciate that button click of yours, Bonnie lad. So let me just scroll down here. I'll have a few other there as well. We've got Andre saying, hi, Chris. Man of the match is Sandro Tonali of Newcastle, he says. But Sandro was class again, to be fair. But yeah, I'm just going to give it to Joelinton. I think the goal just kind of sealed it from me. Big Al again says it was Tonali, man of the match for him. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, Marcus says Duran might get fined too for his tantrum leaving the pitch. He needs anger management classes. He's one of them players, Marcus, like Mitro. I just think there's something in there that just sets him off. But I didn't mention it before. Mad Dog Tyndall also got sent off. at half time. I think he must have had a Barney with the Villa coaching staff, so he was sent to the stands. And Mad Dog's a little bit like that, isn't he, to be fair? But I can see a little bit of a fracas going on probably in the tunnel maybe. But there's no argument for that red card. I'd love to see what Unai Emery says about it, because for me, when you slow it down and you look at VAR, the good side of VAR is looking at that tackle and saying he's kicked him not once but twice, he has to go. That's a straight red. The bad side of VAR is the Bruno disallowed goal, because what the fuck is he meant to do? But I think Emery can't have any excuses when he looks at. I like Emery. He's normally a class act manager, and if he looks at that, I think he should very much realise that was a straight red card. And John Duran has let himself down, let Villa down today, because if that was my player, I'd be absolutely raging about that. I know Rich from the Villa Park pod, I'm sure he'll be foaming at that red card as well, because that's not what they want at a ground where it's difficult for them to get a result anyway, where your star striker, your number 9, is doing stupid things like that. So he might lose a spot big time, Charlie Watkins, off the back of that. And I like Duran as a player. I think he's got an ability to turn and smash it in the back of the net from 40-odd yards, a bit like Cisse style. But then when he's going like that, you probably can't trust him in big moments. Yeah, Chris Tonali was outstanding again today. I'm running out of words for the guy, really, Chris. He's so good on the ball. He's so calm. In terms of Sandro's stats, again, 86% passing accuracy. He's got 64 of his 74 passes off. He's got one key pass in terms of his aerials. So his duels, he won 6 of his 9 ground duels. Doesn't really go in the air. 2 tackles, 1 interception, 1 block shot, 1 clearance. He's just a complete number 6, isn't he, really, Chris? I find it hard to say anything bad about Tonali. The only thing you can say is, why did this not happen a lot sooner? But I'm not going to get into that. Tocoin is saying 2 free hits in the next 2. We lost these last year. It's fair play, Tocoin. I think the way we're playing, mate, is we're going to have to say Man United will be scared of players. Man United are falling to pieces at the moment. Like Rashford's not in the squad today for Wolves. There's a lot of unrest in the dressing room. There's questions of, in terms of what the manager can get out of these players. They don't run. And I'll say this when I do the previews. Well, Manchester United don't run. You watch Man United content creators and they don't run. They don't work hard. Our team works their arse off. Look at the high press today. We do that against Manchester United Old Trafford. If we go in front in the first 10 minutes like we have done in the last couple of games, that place will turn toxic towards the fans, towards the team. And we'll have that game in the palm of our hand, absolutely. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that game. For the first time in a long time, I'm looking forward to playing Man United at Old Trafford. Guys saying Tonali is so classy. Absolutely, he really, really is, mate. Again, he's 5 steps ahead of everybody else, mate. And I just think he's such a talented player. Now we're seeing the kind of better of the lad in the team. And I think the partnership with him and Bruno, they're never too far apart from each other. They're on the same wavelength. It is so good to see. It really, really is. And I remember years ago when we had Toyote and Kabai, and they were very similar. They were kind of never apart from each other. Toyote was the smasher and the destroyer, God rest his soul. And Kabai was the creative element, but could also get micing, get stuck in as well. And I see a bit of that with Sandro and Bruno, but Sandro's so much better on the ball than Toyote was. Again, no disrespect to Toyote, but he wasn't as good on the ball as Sandro is. And him and Bruno can both use the ball, can both get stuck in tackles. Then you've got that machine, Joelinton next to him, who's box to box, can attack and defend. And it's a joy to behold. It really, really is. And then you've got the likes of Willock and Miley and Longstaff could come in and fill in for them if anything happens or they get tired legs. So the depth in that midfield is really, really good at the minute. It's excellent. Barty Box saying, yeah, great 3 points for the TOON. Tonali is a beast. He really is, mate. Just absolutely class. The Clon lad is saying 5th. Happy Christmas, everyone. That is a brilliant Christmas present, mate. It really, really is to be 5th in the league. What a difference a couple of months makes, eh? I tell you what. Hyperbole's feeling generous. It is Boxing Day, but he's giving out presents. He's gifted 10 Evermore memberships. Thank you very much, Hyperbole. Really appreciate that, mate. Really appreciate that. And again, Williams saying credit to Hall in the first goal. The overlap froze the defence and gave Gordon the space to bend the beauty in. The link up between them two, William, is absolutely brilliant. It's class. I just think Hall just looks better and better every single week. I saw him arguing with a referee for a corner as well. And I like that. I like that he's getting stuck into the refs as well. He doesn't seem to be that young kind of nervous player anymore. He's a seasoned pro now, and he's pissed off he hasn't got a corner. And I like that, and hopefully Tino can get the same kind of development on the side as well. Yeah, and I just think a brilliant performance from Lewis Hall once again. Tony saying a brilliant performance today, especially our defence. Troy Deeney, who we know speaks shite about us on Football Focus, he looked fuming, according to him and the lady guest. It wasn't a red card, lol. I'm surprised at that with being a former Birmingham City player. I thought he would have been sticking it to Aston Villa, but he clearly can't even see properly then, let alone call a game properly if he thinks that wasn't a red card, because it was a terrible challenge. You can't do that. You couldn't do that on pub team probably these days and not get a red card. Chris Diggs saying, what a win for us. We deserve it. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you, mate. Merry Christmas to you too, Chris. I hope you have a belting new year, buddy, and thank you so much for watching the stream as well, pal. Mark Tony said, breaking news, Manchester City had to make a world record bid for all 11 of the Newcastle United starting 11. I'm not sure Pep will get the best out of them these days, mate. He seems to be losing the plot, but yeah, I can't believe we're ahead of Manchester City at the table, and on merit as well. Absolutely on merit. There's no doubt about that. Get in, says Peter. Absolutely, Peter. Superb, mate. It's a great result, isn't it, to come back from Boxing Day too. Massive, massive result for everyone who's in the ground as well. The noise in the ground was excellent. You know, from start to finish, really, there wasn't really many kind of quiet moments for me, really. I just think we controlled the game so well. And yeah, they'll be enjoying the night tonight in the TOON. I'm sure they would have been out early doors. I did see a guy dressed as the Grinch. I don't know where he was. Very early pints, about 10 o'clock, I think it was. So yeah, he was enjoying himself. And I'm sure it'll be a cracking night in the town tonight for many people there. Andrew's saying, what did you think of that, Chris, mate? Unreal performance by the boys. Brilliant, Andrew. Absolutely brilliant. Again, my whole concern going into this game, I think I said it in the preview, was it's okay doing it against Ipswich and Leicester and being dominant and all the other stuff. But you got Villa coming up, then you got Man United, then you got Spurs. And that was my big concern, that against a team like Villa, could we put in the same performance? It would be just as dominant in this game. And against a team that's a really good team, really good players, the world's best goalkeeper, arguably in goal, we've knocked 2 screamers past him and probably should have knocked more past him, to be fair. He's lucky. Murphy hits the post and a couple of them just go a little bit wide. And I think for me, there's no argument that Newcastle deserved to win this game. I mean, when you look at the stats of the game as well, we had 22 shots to their 4. Which is just incredible. 63% possession. We're all over them. And, Aston Villa fans, I've got no need of Aston Villa fans. I know some of our fans do. And they won't disagree that they completely been annihilated in that game. Some of them might argue about the John Duran red card, but I think if they go back and watch it again in a cold light of day when they've calmed down a bit, I think they will absolutely agree that's a red card. Chipper's saying, anybody seen Flabby Gabby at Bungalow? Yeah, interesting. He'll go very quiet, Chippers, I bet you, on TalkSport. His microphone will probably be disconnected. We've got, is that Tariq Troglin saying, can you believe some fans still want Eddie out despite the financial limitations, players out of form, constant attempts from Southern media to try and derail his absolute joke? I mean, the manager's kind of future, Tariq, is very kind of divisive. I think, football is a divisive thing. I think if you get results and you're winning games, the noise about your job goes quiet. And Eddie Howe knows that, and most football managers know that. If you don't win games and you're losing games or you're making bad decisions and your selections are questionable, then the noise gets louder and louder. All Eddie Howe can do is win games like he's been doing, and it does quieten the noise down. I questioned whether Eddie Howe had taken this club as far as he could do with a lot of the performances and the selections. But he's turned this around in a very short period of time. He's got the players playing back to the level that we knew they could play at. He's getting his team selection right. The 2 big calls of bringing in Tonali at number 6 eventually and sticking with it and letting that partnership between him and Bruno gel, and then bringing in Murphy to balance the right-hand side. They're the 2 big calls that have stabilised this lineup and got us playing the way we're playing. And massive credit to Eddie Howe for that, but he needs to stick with it. Don't just change it and piss around with it for pissing around's sake, because then you ruin the ambience of the team. And that's what he did before, and hopefully he won't do it again. So Eddie's good for me, mate, as long as he keeps doing the right things. Baz is saying Duran had plenty of time to put his boot somewhere else. Baz, it was totally premeditated. He knew exactly what he was doing there. He stuck his boot in to share to leave one in on him. That's exactly what he did. And he knew for a fact he did. The minute the whistle went, he knew he was going to get a red card, because you can't do that in a VAR world. You cannot get away with that, because it's like Shearer. I love Shearer to bits. I remember seeing us playing in Milan in Champions League at St James's Park when Shearer smashed Materazzi in the face with his elbow, and he got away with it because there was no VAR. Shearer wouldn't get away with it now. He'd get a red card. So he can't play like that. John Duran should know he can't do that, and he's let everybody down there. And all this kicking off in the tunnel, and Tyndall getting involved. Tyndall needs to be more sensible than that as well. I think he plays up to this mad dog stereotype a little bit too much for me. You're the assistant coach. Calm the fuck down. Take yourself out of the situation. Tyndall, there's no need for that, getting a red card. It's just stupid. We had them on the ropes. No reason to play into their kind of game, really, because Villa wanted us wound up. I mean, that one with Morgan Rogers as well, and I like Morgan Rogers. Very good player. But that woman who tries to get Joelinton sent off with a hand in the face was pathetic. I mean, there should be punishment for me after the game. People should go back and watch those games, and something like that, unsporting behaviour, to get another fellow professional sent off for no reason, should be punished. The Duran one is not that. Shares on the deck and he sticks his boot in his back. That's a red card. When a player puts his hand anywhere near you and you go down holding your face like you've been shot from the fucking top of the Lee's stand. No, mate, that ain't going to happen at all. That's bullshit. Somebody should do something about that. They should bring in a punishment body to do something about that, because it's pathetic by players. And Rodgers, that's pathetic by you. You should be better than that, mate. Graham saying Villa are a good side. It's clear that we're building with a relatively settled spine, sprinkled with a little quality. Credit Eddie. He always seems to come out smelling the roses. Where the lads? He does. I mean, and you can't ask any more than that, can you? You can't ask any more than that. Ronald again is saying the Eddie Howe out. Crowd should stay quiet. Maybe it's like Mickey Almiron and Jack Grealish, Ronald. Maybe if we say Eddie out, he puts in better performances, mate. So maybe we should do that. But the thing about the football manager's lifespan is, again, you're only as good as the results. Only as good as the results you get. And at the minute he's getting results, it's a big thing. January is a huge moment for this football club because momentum is with us right now. But we still need one or two bodies in the door to add quality to the squad in key areas. Shea looked good today, but he's been ropey this season. He maybe needs to take rests in games as well to get him back to his optimum level. Trippier again has filled in really well for Tino, but he's gone down injured again. He's getting on. His body's not really as reliable as it used to be. Wilson's knackered. Murphy's in form now, but how long will that last? And Almiron is just Almiron. So we still need a couple of players to fatten out the quality of the squad if we really want to go for that Champions League finish this season. And I don't see any reason why that's out of our grasp now. If we beat Manchester United and Spurs, then I think the Champions League spot is 100% in our grasp. But we have to add quality to the squad in January to manage through the busy period, because we will struggle if we don't do that again, like we did last season. Yeah, George is saying Martinez is one amazing keeper, to be fair. He is. He's a brilliant goalkeeper, but he is a complete bell end in all fairness, mate. And Baz is saying a minor thing, Miley came on, not Longstaff. Well, it's interesting that, Baz. I've got a theory on that one. So because Tonali didn't come off, I think Eddie sees Longstaff as Tonali's replacement, Willock is Joelinton's replacement, and Miley is Bruno's replacement. So that tells you how good Miley is at creating and going forward with the ball, that he sees Miley as the 8 out of those 3 kind of alternatives or stand-ins, if you will, for the main front 3. So I think Longstaff is Tonali's replacement, Willock is Joelinton's, and Miley is Bruno's. That's how he sees it. That's probably why Miley came on, because Sandro was playing so well and didn't need to come off, did he? So yeah, I think that's why he kind of kept them on there. Super chat from Peter. Thank you, Peter. We are Geordies, absolutely, mate. We are Geordies. We are, and we're fucking class as well, to coin the true faith phrase there. They'll be saying, I'm sure, in their post-match. Colin thought Burn and Shea looked solid again. I know they didn't have a lot to do. All they can do is do what they do, Colin, and they did it very well. John Duran is a dangerous centre forward. There's no doubt about that. He's a very dangerous centre forward, and we dealt with him easily today, to the point where he lost his rag and he got himself sent off. And that's all you can ask the lads to do. And I thought they were excellent today. Botman is coming back, but we don't need to rush him when these two are playing as well as they are. I think we do need to add a centre half in January. I love the links to Tomori. I think he'd be a brilliant signing for us. Garcia as well at Barcelona. 2 of them have got Premier League experience. They'd be great signings for 25 million each as well. That's the kind of business that we should be doing. If that's what Paul Mitchell pulls out the bag, he'll have my backing. Chris was saying we're looking good now. Lots of goals, clean sheets, and intense quality football. Not a bad Christmas at all. Not bad whatsoever, mate. Aaron Robinson saying he's putting Garnacho up for sale as well. I think Garnacho and Rashford are probably the 2 toxic elements of that dressing room. I think he probably wants them out the door. Problem is with Man United, I think the whole toxicity runs right to the heart of that football club. I mean, as somebody who grew up in the 90s watching football, I hate Man United because they were great, and that's why I hated them. So to watch them kind of burn from the inside is, I've kind of got my marshmallow on a stick, just enjoying the view, to be fair. But there's a massive, massive problem with that football club. They can change managers all they want. They can get in Sir Jim Twatcliffe, who's just Mike Ashley with a gym membership, and it's not going to change. That club is rotten to the core. So selling Rashford and Garnacho are probably not going to do a great deal. There's a lot more damage to our football club than that. But hey, let's bring them on next, because it's a great time to play them, because they are shit right now, and I will enjoy beating them, hopefully. Stick Ice is saying, let's talk about key passes to Tonali. Just absolutely class, to be fair. I don't know what more I can say. In terms of his key passes, they've only got 1 key pass on SofaScore, but every single pass he seemed to make, Stick, just seemed to split a defence, didn't it? I think that guy could split a fucking can of tuna open without a can opener, mate, with his passing. He's that good. He's just a fantastic footballer. He's our footballer. And all this bullshit about wanting to go back to Serie A is utter horseshit. You know, the lad is clearly happy. He's been banned for over a year. He's back. He's playing football at a top level. He seems to just get better and better week in, week out. And he's in a black and white shirt, developing a great relationship with a Brazilian international in midfield, 2 Brazilian nationals in midfield. Why would he want to go anywhere else? You know, he's just class. Andrew saying, imagine playing Longy over Tonali, should be whipped by stinging nettles. I mean, Longstaff's a good squad player, I would say, Andrew. I will say that about Sean. It's a good squad player to have in the squad, especially when your games come thick and fast and you need more players to play, you know, FA Cup games, Carabao Cup games, maybe games against some of the lower kind of Premier League teams, you know, where you can rest some of your star players. You know, Sean's great for that, but does Sean want to be that? He might not want to be that. He might want to be a starter week in, week out at 27 years old now. But I think this midfield that we have right now, you know, there is a lot of depth there. I do worry about Willock. I think Willock doesn't look the same player as he once was. I think the injury just got a hold of him. So I'd maybe change Willock out for somebody else of a similar ilk, an attacking midfielder. But you're not going to get another Joelinton, but you might get somebody who can go forward and cause problems in an attacking premise, you know, with legs and a good ball carrier midfield. I mean, Conor Gallagher probably would have been a good one, I think, to replace Joe Willock, but we didn't move on him. And I'm not sure whether Chelsea would have sold us anyway. But yeah, that midfield has got good depth and they all stay fit and they all stay in form. You know, I think that, you know, they'll be very, very good for the squad. It's a shame we haven't got that kind of depth in the striker department, really. A2 saying played in second gear. Lovely stuff. Yeah, I mean, you did feel like we had so much more to do today, you know, and we held it back, which is great because then we're not going to go Old Trafford spent and wrecked, really, you know. So that to me is a great thing to have because Old Trafford's not been a happy hunting ground for us in previous years. So I'll be buzzing to see us go there and get some serious well-deserved results. Cushy saying 19 goals in our last 6 matches, not bad. Absolutely, mate. They seem to have found a way to score goals again, you know, which is absolutely class because that's what you want, isn't it? You know, it's just for years we haven't had this with Newcastle. We're blown hot and cold, and now, you know, we're playing so well again, and it's absolutely class. Great win, says Maurice, getting absolutely total domination, says Sensible. Absolutely, mate. And Baz got out of bed at 2 a.m. for that. Love it. Well done, Baz. Absolutely superb, mate. The dedication of you guys over there is incredible. But yeah, Newcastle United making it worth your while to get it, mate, which is absolutely brilliant. Asian Tech Stream saying we might lose one of the next 2, but it ain't the end of the world. No, it's not, mate. It really, really isn't. I think the fact that we've got these results in the bag, you know, it's given us a nice little breather. I'd love to beat Man U at Old Trafford Tech. You know, we owe those bastards. I hate playing there with them. You know, we got awful results there in the past, even when they've been dog shit. So this is the type of smash them, absolutely smash them. Bournemouth did it the other day. Let's take inspiration from them. Let's smash them all over Old Trafford. Paul saying, do well in the next 2 away games, which won't be easy. We'll be right in the mix. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Arthur saying Lionel Murphy was below par today. Fortunately, he managed to generate an assist. He did. You know, if you're playing shit, you still get an assist. You've got to give it to the guy, mate. We've got somebody there saying, cheating Newcastle. I wonder if he's an Aston Villa fan. We didn't cheat, mate, at all. If you are an Aston Villa fan, your centre forward's a fucking idiot, mate. That's why he went down to 10 men. You should never have done that. He's also saying that it was never a red card and it spoiled the game. It was a red card, mate. Go back and watch the replay. It was a terrible decision. We used to have Mitrovic did the same shit, and it was a red card when he got it, and he deserved it as well. So, yeah, definitely, mate. You know, Villa are a good side, mate. You just went out the races today at all. So, you know, you got to hold your hand up there, and you got to admit that, mate. JV saying, "Hi, Chris, Troy fucking Deeney added again." I don't know how he gets work, JV. Honestly, I don't know how he gets work. He's not exactly the most charismatic intellectual of pundits, is he? Really, in all fairness, you know. But sorry, I'm just looking at the comment here from Games Don 12. What did Duran do? Please tell me. Go back and watch him, mate. He kicks him once in the arse, and then he scrapes his studs up his back. So if Isak had done that to Konza, would you have wanted Isak sent off? Yes, you would have done, mate. You would have done. So, you know, let's not go nuts here, mate. It's pretty obvious, mate, that it was a red card. If you go back and watch it, you have to go back and look at it, mate, because it is definitely a red card. That's the last comment of yours that I'll be pulling up, mate, because I think you're just a little bit drunk with emotion. In the morning when you sober up, you realise John Duran's a fucking moron. I've got mates who are Villa fans, and they'll be raging at the guy. I'll tell you that right now. Philip Kears is saying, even Chris, great win yet again. Absolutely, Philip, a brilliant win, mate. Absolutely brilliant win. What again? So let's get through your comments there, guys. Loads of the comments coming in, guys. I'm doing my best to try and sort them out. Julie J is in the house. Good to see you, Julie. Just watching Emery Whitron on. He's effing clueless. I don't know what he said, Julie. Is he said that it isn't a red card? Because if he said it as well, and I think he needs to go to Specsavers because that is blatantly a red card. It really, really is. Inconsistent is saying that he expects us to press them at Old Trafford like we did last season for the first 10 minutes of the game in a 3-2 loss. It could be 5 or 6 for us. I think you're right, mate. I think Man United are there for the taking. There's never been a better time to play Man United than right now. And if we go and press them as high as we can, we could get 1 or 2 in front in the first half an hour, and they will absolutely fold 100%. Kev saying, when is Botman coming back? What's going on? It's taking the time of Botman. I wouldn't be surprised to see Botman maybe play against Bromley in the FA Cup. Possibly that could be an option. But there's no need to rush him back, mate, because I think he's, for me, Burns do well. Cher played well in that game as well. We're getting in the centre half in the January window. Then I think it will be in good shape. Don't rush Botman back, because last time we did that and his Achilles snapped, which is not good. I still can't believe that happened, to be fair. So we need Botman back at his optimum. Yeah, Darren Rashford out of the team again. He's definitely gone. Rashford's gone. I mean, it's weird with Rashford because there is a player in there, but I just don't know whether he's lost that bite. I'd love Rashford if you could get him back to what he was, but I just don't think you can. I don't think you can. His goal record's not great. Harvey Barnes' goal record is better than his in the Premier League in the last 7 or 8 seasons. So, yeah, it's a big one for Rashford. I think he might disappear off and end up somewhere, maybe Serie A, La Liga or something like that, a little bit like Greenwood, but not, ostracized like Greenwood was. Obviously just moved on because he isn't in it anymore. His heart isn't in it for Man United anymore, which is a shame, because I think he was a great player for them, and obviously what he did off the pitch was exemplary for the kids and the meals and everything, but he's definitely lost his way. Ghost Pie May saying, great job done today. We were ruthless. And that's what we need to be. There's too many times Newcastle have been too nice in games, and not capitalize, not put the foot on the throat. And we're doing it now. We're absolutely doing it now, and it's brilliant to see. And when we do that, we blow teams away because we are so good in the ball and dominant. Daniel Smith saying Murphy's had a decent game again, but he was snatching the chances. We need an upgrade on that. When we do, Bakayoko or Mbeumo for me, and there's your 2 players. Differences, one will cost you 25 million, one will cost you 50. And in PSR and FFP, I go for the 25 million because you could spend that on a centre-half as well, to be fair. And I think that's probably what we'll end up doing. I think Mitchell will shop abroad. I don't think he'll go domestic, regardless of maybe what Eddie's saying. I think they'll say, look, we need better value for money, and we'll go abroad and get the better value for money, because we did last time with the likes of Camaras and Botman. So why shouldn't we do it again, to be fair? Kev saying Greenwood, Rashford is 100 times better a guy than Greenwood. Of course he is. One of them helped, get starving kids food, and then the other one allegedly beat the shit out of his girlfriend. So yeah, it doesn't take a genius to figure out who's the better person there. George is saying not good enough for PSG, I reckon. Yeah, PSG probably go for him. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see him end up at PSG or something like that. But yeah, I don't think he'll be anywhere near anyone in the Premier League, to be honest with you. Philip saying, wouldn't surprise me if Ratchet ended up at Arsenal. Oh, they ain't getting Isak. No way they're getting Isak, because they can't afford Isak. He's about 150 million quid now. So there's no way they'll get Alexander Isak, regardless of how much they thirst over him in every single possible video or every single possible pundit on the TV or talk sport, thanks to want to sign him for Arsenal, drive him up to Chelsea or whatever, give him a contract and a pen to sign it himself. He ain't going there for less than 150 million quid because he's contracted here till 2028. So if you want Alexander Isak, you got to pay top dollar, and none of these teams can afford him because they've got PSR and FFP to adhere to as well, regardless of how special they think they are. Julie says Arsenal are supposed to be interested in Rashford. I mean, they took Danny Welbeck, didn't they, all them years ago? And that worked for them. Obviously, different type of scenario. But I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, Kev's just read my mind and said Welbeck did the same thing. Absolutely, he did. But it'll be interesting. It's a big one for Rashford, but he won't be coming here. That's for damn sure, guys. But yeah, that's me pretty much done for the post-match then, guys. Thank you so much for jumping in the lives, as always. Really appreciate it. Coming from Chalky, BBC should have kept Garth Crooks and give that jump a game. I tell you how bad Deeney is. If Garth Crooks is the better level, Chalky, my days, they are scraping the barrel, mate. Absolutely scraping the barrel. You should give me a job. I'll tone down the swearing, BBC. I promise. But yeah, I won't get into why they probably wouldn't give me a job. Anyway, so that's me done, guys. Thank you so much for watching the post-match. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all the love and support. Hit the like if you can, guys. It really helps the channel grow. As I mentioned at the start as well, if you like this kind of thing and you have checked us out for the first time, as some of you have done on this stream, smash that subscribe button. Help get us to the next milestone, which is 10K. We really appreciate it. We have got the winning prize to post out for the winner. I must admit, we haven't forgot that. The post has been shit at Christmas, so we'll get that post out very, very soon, whoever the winner is. I can't remember off the top of my head. Snaky something, I think it was. But you will be getting your shirt. Don't you worry about that. I'm going to be back for a Man United post-match preview and the post-match analysis, but hopefully we'll smash those wankers at Old Trafford. Have a belter, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Boxing Day, and I will catch you on the preview next time. Take it easy.